alive. Staying alive.
Grum draws a breath, one that very well may be his last, unless somebody can help him. He is what we might call dying one, if we really wanted to quantify his current condition.
Cool.
So, what do y'all do?
Well, I go running up to. Hey, hold on, everybody, stay back. I can help. All right, here we go. And so Bartimus gets down.
Yeah.
On his knees to help out. Takes out his healing kit.
Yeah.
Actually, he has his healing kit technically always kind of out on him, but he starts digging into it from there. And what you guys see is that Bartimus starts to sort of. Well, hold on here.
Yeah. Get it.
Hold on, I wasn't quite there. Now I'm here. All right.
Restart
What
the thing.
Bartimus does, he starts to wipe up the blood that's around on the ground with these rags, and then starts to just sort of drip it back into the goblin's mouth, and then reaches in with his pouch, and he has like a paintbrush. He dips it in some material, and you see him just sort of painting the wounds. And what you would perceive if you looked hard enough at this paint, it's sort of like it's like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man spider web. That's what I'm looking for.
Spider goop.
And it starts like it slowly just starts to pool the wounds together. I am attempting to do a medicine check.
Sure.
To treat the wounds, and he's dying one.
Yes.
So I would like to stabilize him.
Sure.
Can I aid?
You can. Be a DC 20 medicine check for you to aid.
Go ahead.
You're just making a medicine check.
Just taking a medicine check?
Medicine check, yeah.
All right, here we go. Medicine happening. Oh, that was a terrible roll. We all saw that.
That would be a 17. Oh, it's not that great in
Just
this
short.
TTRPG.
Just short of what you needed.
I got a 21.
But you managed to, on your own, sort of all the blood that you paint over the wounds begins to congeal and scab very, very quickly. And he is no longer dying. He is stable and unconscious.
Mutation?
Is there 2 mutations?
Oh, God.
No!
Yes!
So while Bartimus is working, he's painting over these, he's pouring the blood back in, and suddenly you two begin feeling very strange. I'll let the GM describe.
I feel like we have two.
Well, actually, first, before anybody does any mutating, we should know that as Crumb begins to stabilize, you feel like he's no longer in any danger of dying. However, of course, you all feel the very familiar tingly sensation in your eyeballs as magic begins to surge. And why don't we have Erica roll a wild magic? Roll a D10.
D10?
A D10 for me.
Good vibes.
8?
8. We just get the weird ones, this crew, this red team. Always getting the weird ones. Not that I don't
Do you
I don't
have normal ones?
Yeah.
They're all ridiculous. These aren't mutations. No, this one
Where's
is the
the
mutation.
adamantian skeleton?
This is for the wild magic.
Oh,
So we're settling the wild magic first.
Oh, we're selling a wild
Oh,
magic.
Lord.
And this
okay.
one is that you all have the ability to metagame. As a reaction, anytime your character would be subject to a negative consequence, you can have them suddenly realize that their entire existence is completely fictional. As a result, nothing happens. You bypass the consequence entirely, but this horrific realization of your non-existence causes you to become stunned 3. Effectively, you lose a turn.
Oh.
After you are no longer stunned, you are stupefied for 1 hour, and you cannot have a metagame realization while you are stupefied from this ability. So basically, once every hour, you can have this realization.
Easy
Once
clap.
every real world hour or in-game hour?
Well, in-game hour, yeah.
In-game hour. Okay. All right. And what is stupefied? What is stupefied outside of?
Stupefied is a -1 to all of your mental rolls, so anything that's intelligence, wisdom, or charisma based,
Okay.
Including will saves. So,
All right. Got it.
yeah. So that is the thing. You can, anytime you don't like something, just say, I realize that I am just a fictional character in a game, and it won't happen to you because it doesn't matter. It's not real. However, there are terrible consequences to that.
Okay.
I would say the only thing that you can't use that ability on is the mutation that has to happen. People want the mutation.
I was
People
so
have
ready.
spoken. I know you wanted to do it
Sarah
so bad.
spoken. You don't get to get
Okay.
For the people who have spoken, you must be mutated. So Erica, let's just roll right into your mutation. Roll another d10 for me.
Did you add that caveat just now?
Yeah, well, I just realized the loophole. I just realized the loophole. What would you say?
A 9.
A 9. Big numbers. Okay, interesting. You might actually like this one, just as like an effect. You effectively become a mood ring. Your eyes and hair change vibrant colors, reflecting any intense emotions you feel. This gives you, because of a more intimidating presence when you are angry or upset, you get a +2 bonus to any intimidation checks you make. However, it's not as easy for you to lie, so you take a -2 penalty to deception checks.
Okay. So I get +2 to intimidation, -2 to
Deception.
deception. Okay.
Indeed.
That's interesting.
That's fun.
And what about Hay?
What about Ava?
Ava, what you got?
Let's roll. That is a 2.
A 2.
2.
Okay. You grow a third eye in the back of your head.
That's kind of gnarly.
Now,
As I feel it.
when
But
you
what?
open this eye, you are unflankable. You can see in all directions. However, it's very disorienting, and you become stupefied 1. At the start of each turn that you have your eye open, you increase the stupefied condition by 1 as you get more and more
Every
disoriented.
time I open it? Or
So when you open your eye, you become stupefied 1, and the longer you keep it open, the more stupefied you get. However, you can close your eye, and at the end of your next turn, you lose the stupefied condition completely. So basically, think of it this way.
Is it open right now?
No, you can. It's up to you. It's your eye. You tell
Okay.
me what it is.
Okay. So, cool. Okay. I think I got it.
Yeah.
As
It's
the
only
longer-
going to have a
each
negative
round-
impact
Each
when it's
round,
open,
I get
yeah.
more and more stupefied copy.
But you
Okay.
can close it anytime you want.
Okay.
Really, like out of combat, it's not going to make much of. In combat, round by
Yeah.
round will make a difference. But for now, you just like it's just like a really weird thing because you can suddenly see in all directions.
So Bartimus is working on Crumb. He's painting over the wounds, pouring blood back into it.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of sort of like looks up. He says, "I think he's gonna be. Whoa! Oh dear me! What color would you say that your concern makes your eyes and hair turn?"
I would say, like, I was gonna say, really dark gray.
Whoa!
Yeah.
So like, oh wow. So normally, so in that moment, wow, this is perfect. In that moment, the lights, like Bartimus is like, oh dear me, and he sees that the lights have gone out, but the lights have gone out in your eyes, my dear. They were once a bright, vibrant ruby red, and now I see just sorrow reflected in them, just this gray darkness. But do not worry, Crumb is going to live. I am using my best techniques.
And when she takes a deep breath, her eyes kind of go to a lighter blue, and her hair turns to a lighter blue as well.
Oh wow, this is incredible. I believe this may be a repercussion of the effects of the mithricite in the air.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time.
Well, I shan't be distracted. I can continue to work on Crumb here and attempt to bring him back to this side of life.
If you feel like you have that under control, which it does not look like it, but if you feel so, I'll
He's
work
just
on.
painting this slop on him, and he goes, "Oh yeah, this is fine. I've got it."
What does Crumb look like? Does it look like they're getting any like improvements?
He looks like he's not getting any worse.
Okay.
At this point,
He's not getting worse.
At this point, as long as nothing bad happens to him, he'll be okay.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to move over to Thorn
Right.
and administer first aid on him
Okay.
because I know he's not feeling his
Well,
best.
so there's 2 different actions with medicine. There's the treat wounds, which will actually give him hit points. First aid is if he's dying, which he's currently not.
Oh, I only have administer first aid.
Well, if you're trained in medicine, you can do.
I am.
Okay, then you can treat wounds.
Okay.
You can attempt to restore hit points.
Okay, I just need to scroll down and find that then.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do. So I'll do that.
Sure. It's just a DC 15 medicine check. It's pretty easy.
You walk over to Thorn, and because where he fell, the other goblin fell from, like Thorn's eyes are trained up at the window
Yeah.
to see what else is up there.
Yeah. Well, currently, I can tell you without even a check, you don't see or hear anything else coming.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't know if
Failure
you're-
to
It's
hurt
not. It's not. No, you're not. Oh.
Oh. How bad did you roll?
I mean, I don't think it'll be a critical failure. That's gonna be a 16.
Which is just enough.
Oh,
Because
snap.
it's only DC 15 when you're doing the basic
Hands.
tree wounds.
Look, I have a massive migraine right now. I don't know what's back there. It's a little bit. I think I just got hit in the head.
Oh my God!
What?
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 Big knot in the back of your head.
Yeah. There's like a line. Did it get cut, or is there a gash or something? Is there?
I poke it.
Ow. Okay, maybe not touch it. Maybe we'll give it some rest.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
a very, very weird looking bump.
Uh-huh. How many hit points did we get?
You're going to restore 2d8 hit points.
Okay, sick.
Jim, I have a question.
I bet. What you got?
If I did risky surgery on him now,
Yeah.
I would do damage to him.
You
It
would.
cause him to go to dying 2.
He would.
But would he then get the healing, and would that what's better? Should I just heal him? I don't know mechanically how I realize I'm kind of,
Yeah.
but just realistically from the gameplay mechanics, I'm not sure what is the actual better route to go here.
The better route for someone like him in his current condition, because it's an interesting question, because when he takes damage, he becomes dying, and it's like, well, you have to stabilize somebody because the blah, 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 blah. Not 100% certain exactly because it's not like one thing necessarily follows the other.
Right.
The whole process of treating wounds takes 10 minutes, and you're doing damage in the process, but in the end, they're like, I don't know. I would say the simplest and probably easiest thing to do, especially for somebody who's already in a fragile condition, would probably be to just treat wounds. So
Yeah, I'll just
make
do
sure that they're okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, sure. And then you can, since you are an expert in medicine, you can set your DC to be either 15, which is just the standard, or if you want to get that extra healing boost, you can set it to 20 to restore an extra 10 hit points based on your level of success.
I'm sure as an NPC, he'll be plenty happy with just the regular DC.
Yeah, he does. You don't need to waste a lot of time on just an NPC.
Well,
guy.
now there's also a curious question here, because I did stabilize the boy.
He is
Is he, was that a 10-minute process to stabilize him?
No, so that's a very quick process. That's going to be something you can do
All
in
right.
combat. So it's only
Then-
2 actions actually.
Then I would begin the 10-minute process of attempting to treat wounds.
Yeah.
And that would look fairly similar to what I've been doing, but what you'll notice is sort of Bartimus is over time sort of straightening out the body as well, because it's a broken, this individual was broken in so many
some
ways. The
splints.
knee was twisted around, the arm was going the wrong way. Begin sort of laying him out, and as he does, he's sort of putting pressure here and there, and pushing this in and that in, and also still painting with this weird schlop. But that's the treat wound, so
All right.
I'll roll that.
What do you want to set the DC to?
15.
15. All right, just basic.
Yeah, basic. Just doing basic stuff here.
You beast.
All right, that's a dirty 20.
Great. So
Nice.
he is. You're going to restore 2d8 hit points.
2d8, and I'm sure he's gonna be totally fine, and we'll just continue our adventures together.
Really fine.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Oh dear me, 2 more mutations.
Two.
Those
With Thorn and Bone.
Everybody gets a little bit today.
Gets 7 hit points back.
7 hit points. All right.
Chaos.
His eyes flutter open, and
You can start swapping them out now.
so as you finish up your administrations, and as the crumb is starting to rouse, you two start to change in fundamental ways.
Like Hava's like kind of poking and prying. Ow! 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 What are you doing?
Roll a d10 for me,
I
Thorn.
didn't do it, I swear.
D10. A 2.
2.
Wait.
This is an interesting one. You may like this, you may not like this. I don't know. But one of your hands begins to become very difficult to move, and it is covered in this thick, spiny, hard carapace or shell, and your fingers start to fuse together until you have what looks like a giant pinchy crab claw This crab claw gives you an attack that deals 1d8 damage plus your strength ability, and it has the grab and constrict abilities. I'll tell you how those work when it comes up to it. But yeah, either way, you can grab and constrict with this crab people claw. However, it is a very unrefined appendage now, and you cannot take any manipulate actions with that hand. You can only manipulate things with one hand now.
Okay. Crab claw. My crab claw deals more damage than when I punch somebody in the face. That's amazing.
And then Mr. Bottoms.
There you go. Dancing lobsters.
Getting rid of my clumsy, Jim.
Oh yeah, I figured
Getting
you were
rid of
getting
that
rid of.
clumsy.
Yes,
I'm no
that
longer a clumsy monk.
That replaces your weird flubbery body.
My AC goes back up.
Your AC returns to normal. Okay. Maybe it almost feels like maybe you got way too much of that Tobey Maguire Spider-Man goo on you, because your whole body becomes just a little bit sticky. Whenever you are attacked, when you are struck by something, an attacker has to make a reflex save, or they get stuck to you, and they have to spend an action to remove their appendage or their weapon, like to pull it away. However, it takes you an extra action anytime you want to drop an item or stow an item, because they're stuck to your hands, so you can't just easily get rid of things. So you're just a little bit sticky.
Does this include Philip interacting anytime with Barnabas?
Sure, I mean, now he's gonna have to like peel Philip off of it.
Oh, it's okay, buddy.
Well, all right.
So what are you gonna get rid of?
Boy. I suppose that the most unsettling thing for those viewing Bartimus is his unsightly, scaly skin, which does give me a +1 to my AC. But you never hit me, so it'll be fine.
Those are your last words. Last words.
All right.
All right. And that brings our dust level very nearly all the way up to 3, but it's currently at 2, which means spell DCs for everybody and magic effect DCs are up by 1, and then spell damage and magic effect damage is up by 1. So keep that in mind if you are using any kind of magical stuff.
Okay. So,
Dear me, somehow that magic, you all felt it again, I'm sure. It
Yeah.
seems to have absorbed some of my substance into me.
Are you anything positive come out of it, or?
I like,
Oh no.
I'm like doing this with my hand.
Oh, God.
And the brush is stuck to my hand. Now this is very interesting. I have an idea. Bartimus gets up and goes over to the wall and sees if he can.
It doesn't appear to be quite sticky enough to give you purchase on a vertical surface.
All right, Sam Raimi, you can keep it.
Greta, I'm wondering if you happen to know anything about a large location out here that we can use to build a contraption of some sort, potentially help everyone out here.
Do I?
Make let's just call it a society check.
Society?
Yeah.
Cerberus said if anyone would know, it would be your team.
Well, let me think. It's a 22.
22, okay. You recall some weeks back, you went out into the city with your crew, and it was purely an exploratory thing. You were just going to see like where are some good spots. In fact, it's the mission in which you found this place as like a potential target to come and salvage. And you recall seeing there were several buildings. One of them was in Shore Bend, which is where the docks, I mean, they still are, but they're not really in use much anymore. But it's basically the docks district. There was an old building that used to be it was a water purification plant. They would suck in a bunch of seawater and they would magically filter it so that it could be used by the people for all kinds of things. And you recall that was a facility that you remember it was mostly intact, and it very likely had some very valuable machinery salvage in it. So you were hoping to get back to.
Now that you mention it, there was a facility down by the docks that I think might be of use.
Yeah, it feels safe, secure enough. We can stay there for decent periods of time without being ambushed by whatever else is out here.
How do you feel about water travel?
I hate it.
How do you all feel about giant porcupines? And I'm holding up the quills that were in Crumb. And I'm like, my dear boy, Crumb, I believe it is.
Yeah?
Are you able to speak?
Yeah.
Oh my, you must have had a harrowing ordeal. Where did these come from?
Well, there was this thing, and it came up, and I thought it was like a big rat, but it wasn't, because it turned around, and I think I scared it, and it sprayed a bunch of, and they got me all in the face, and it hurt real bad, and then I ran away.
Well, it's lucky you found us. How are you feeling? Do you feel well enough to travel?
I mean, I can do what I gotta do. It's a lot of pain, but I think I'll be all right, you know?
Well, we should all be on the lookout for a giant rat porcupine.
I'm sure we won't miss it if it comes at us.
All right.
Yeah.
Shall we get your cousins back to Resolve, or did you all just want to take these two highly injured individuals into the Shorebend facility? I'm down either way. I can get with it.
I'd probably lean on you. I mean, this is your family. How do you, and you individuals, you cousins, like, if you want to come along with us, scout the location, or we can head back to the Resolve.
Yes, I realize you just woke up, but see, we're going to travel across the city with you over to the docks where you don't live. Would you like to go there?
Or do you want to go home?
Always like to go home, see a doctor, rest up, hug your children.
I mean, it isn't a bad idea to go and take a rest. Go back to Resolve, drop them off, let everyone know what we found. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine with us. I mean, we could do whatever. I mean, I know that things turned out bad for us, but you know, we've been out in the city a lot, so you know. But you know,
Greta was able to find what you guys were here looking for. Greta was able to find
Yeah, we've got the wax. Cerberus is gonna want all that, so we better get that. We gotta get that back home. Get a nice little payday, and take a couple days off. I think that sounds real good.
Sounds great.
I think that's a good idea. We can drop the wax off. You can get all better.
I can use these gold pieces that I suddenly have to buy some healing potions.
Yeah, you didn't buy any healing potions before you came out. That sounds like a real miscalculation on your part. You've got to
Doesn't
have
it?
healing potions. You know, that's why Rek always had as an extra healing potion. You know, on her.
It was
every
very
time.
fortunate she
Yeah.
did. Oh no, Rek's been off screen. Rek, are you all right?
Oh no,
No.
she's just lying in a pool of blood. But she was just behind you, just off screen the whole time. You don't even know what happened.
Once we get outside, I may have something that both of you, Rex and Crumb, can utilize to help make the travel a little bit easier.
Oh yeah, I mean you don't have to worry about us too much. I mean, obviously the word. We know the city pretty well. It is dangerous, but you know it's dangerous for everybody.
Okay.
We'll be all right.
Each of you could always land up on either shoulder and ride back if you want.
Oh, I don't mind if I do.
Oh God, what is wrong with you?
Can't get him off of you. He's stuck to you. It's like touching somebody who's covered in maple syrup.
So I'll start making my way up.
Sure. Begin climbing up the rope. You guys you gather up all of the stuff that you came after. There doesn't appear to be anything else sort of blocking your way. Getting out, the only thing that, just because it's been weeks, so if you wanted to attempt to, I'll give you the option to, you know that there was a storage room in the front area that was closed off and locked when you came in,
Right.
that you weren't able to get into. You can certainly take what you've got and move on, but if you were interested in getting back in that, I don't want you to forget about it just because of the time.
Storage.
I want to unlock it.
She wants to unlock it.
Unlock it.
Let her have
All right.
it.
You go up to the door. You knew it was locked from the first time you came in here.
Can I sit?
What's that?
Say, can I assist if anything?
She's already. We're gonna thorn it. We're gonna thorn the door.
Crab
Thorn the
thorn.
door. 28 thievery check.
28
Oh,
thievery
yeah.
check. Yeah. It is not much work to get this thing popped open. Yeah. Get in there. And it appears that inside are a couple of rows, and there are shelves that are full of boxed up. A lot of it looks like tourist item stuff. There's a lot of scented candles and whatnot. But there is a box that are quite interesting. And as you are reading the label on it and trying to figure out what is going on here, you realize there's these little, they're mini tea light candles, but they are marked as enchanted. It doesn't say exactly what they do, but they're literally enchanted candles.
Can I make an Arcana check?
Yeah, you absolutely can. Try to determine what they do.
24.
24. Okay. You are examining them, and you realize that embedded in the wax are all these little bits. You realize aren't just scents and whatnot. There are little arcane reagents that are embedded in the wax. And you determine that if you were to, as part of a 10-minute rest, if you were to burn one of these and have it near you while you were, say, refocusing for 10 minutes or whatever it is you're doing for your 10-minute period, you can restore 4d8 hit points as if magically healed.
Ooh, that's a lot of
How many of those
points.
tea lights are there?
There are a box of 6 of them.
I look for the black flame candle.
I'll take a gift shop T-shirt.
Yeah, there's a nice little Waxworks T-shirt.
We better get going before it gets dark. Is it dark already?
No, it's not dark yet.
That's all right. We have these candles.
Oh, you don't want to light these yet.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
They're these are enchanted.
Oh, dear
You
me.
shouldn't have told him that.
Oh, these are
Scented.
just stuffing them in my bag. Just,
Look at me, Barnabas. Don't look at her. It's scented.
They're enchanted.
Enchanted.
Enchanted is what
Yeah, yeah.
Spoke.
I see what you're doing here. You find it to be clever to trick me into thinking those candles don't do anything because I don't like to heal you. Well, let's go, Crumb and Wreck. Come on.
We love it when you heal us, Barnabas. It's so special. Thanks.
It doesn't hurt at all.
No.
So begin making your way through the streets towards home. And I said it's not quite dark yet. It's definitely later in the day.
I do take a moment, though,
Yeah.
while we're walking, and I go up to Thorn and I say, my dear Thorn, it was so insightful to find out a little bit about your history and your friend that you carry the locket for. I found that most intriguing. There was one thing I did want to mention to you in that, and it didn't feel like the right time to bring it up to you. Those devices that are inside your body, they'll pass through. If I could get those back, that would be great.
Pass through, through my skin. What do you mean?
Sure.
What do you mean, pass through?
More of that one than the first one.
I don't feel
It may
anything
take
just
a
yet.
couple of days.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a good test. When they're ready, if you just jump up and down once or twice, you'll hear some jiggling.
Good. Okay, jiggling insides. Okay.
Jiggling inside will be nothing to worry about. Now, if that persists for more than 3 days, you let me know.
Yes, doctor.
All right.
So we're just walking.
I'm just picturing Barnabas run one of those medical medicine commercials that you see on the
Side effects may include.
Yeah. Jiggling for 3 days.
I've done it to him again.
As they're chatting about the horrible fate that Thorn's bowels have in store for him, you begin to feel a sort of pressure in your head, and your vision goes hazy for just a moment. Now, this is a familiar experience for you. It's not something that you would be alarmed about, because it usually precedes a message, which you begin to hear in your mind.
Okay.
It says, "Don't come home. It's not safe. They know what we're doing. I'm okay for now." Now, you also know that you can respond to that message, but you only can respond in a 25-word message.
Okay. I know who it is, right?
Yeah, it is. The voice in your head is that of Deck and Lear.
Okay.
In the meantime, I've walked up to
let me figure out what
to Crumb, and I've said, "My dear Crumb, while you were under, there was some medical devices that I had to insert into your body. Now, I don't want you to be alarmed. They will pass through. It should be just a few days. What you may find as a strange sensation, I will warn you, is they will all come out at once. You see, and I pull out like one of them. I'm like, you see, actually, no, I pull out like a coin. I'm like, they're similar to this coin. And if you imagine just sort of a stack of coins, just don't try to interrupt it in the middle, is all I'm saying."
He just like watches you with wide eyes and nods, and then as you turn away, you can hear him talking direct. He's like, "Yeah," he said, "they have a bunch of coins in my belly. Do they fill me up with money? I don't know what's happening. This is kind of weird. These guys, I don't know about them."
Okay. The name of this, it's the Iron Society? The
Collective?
Iron Collective. Okay, I'm ready. So, Hava has a headache.
Mm-hmm.
We're still walking.
Yeah.
I haven't alerted anyone just yet, but she's gonna respond back and say, "Understood. We found the location. Let the Iron Collective know. We can start work right away. Water purification plant."
Oh, interesting. Now you know that after your response, he may or may not be able to come back. Like it will require a second casting of the same spell.
Right.
So if he has the ability to cast it more, he could continue a communication with you. But at least for immediately, you don't get anything else back from him.
Yeah.
So you know that may mean you have to wait till tomorrow, or he's just not able to at the moment.
Right.
Now,
Either
when
way,
the
you get no
lights
immediate
go
chance.
out, Jim, while we're walking,
And then the
does
lights-
it just become nighttime? Like, does the sun disappear? Does it eclipse? What happens
There's
for
a
it
cloud.
to be nighttime? Yeah, is it just a cloud?
You know, now that you're looking up at the sky, you don't see any clouds. You don't see any stars.
What a strange.
You don't see the sun or any celestial bodies at all. It simply becomes dark.
Boy, that is a mite unsettling every time that happens.
You get used to it eventually.
Everybody, we need to change course.
We're not going back.
We can. They know what we're doing. I've just gotten a message from Dakin. They know what we're doing, and we can't go back.
They as in who they?
Those that are in charge that did not want you to build the machine. The whole reason.
Why does nobody want help? I don't understand
Did
it.
you not
Everything I do is
see
helpful.
what happened at your demonstration?
Yes, I saw what happened. Once again, I was there and witnessed it along with the rest of you. We all saw the machine work. It was a smaller working than we had wanted, but the effects were there. And then, yes, there were unfortunate side effects, which I have gone over.
Very large side effects.
They was rather small,
People could have gotten killed
but
and
they
hurt.
did not.
But everything that happened outside of the small possibility, it's too dangerous.
Well,
That's
now,
what
if you
we
recall, if you pull out that sample that I gave you a little while ago, and I'll pull out this sample, what I can show you.
I smacked the sample out.
Oh
of
no,
his hand.
it's contaminated now.
The
Pick it
point
up.
And
is,
the sample falls down. Bartimus, you feel like everything just sort of slows down for a second as you once again begin to change inexorably.
1.
A 1.
is the lonely.
Okay. Well. Okay.
No.
Anytime someone comes into contact with you, or you come into physical contact with somebody else, you both take 1d4 points of electricity damage because you are
Bruh.
permanently highly statically charged. Are you going to continue to be sticky? What did you get rid of last time? Did you get rid of your big eyes and ears? And you got rid of your skin?
No, I still have the big eyes and ears.
So you want to get rid of the big eyes and ears, or you want to get rid of the sticky?
Well, if the sticky combines with the static, does that mean then that every turn they're stuck to me, they're taking 1d4 damage?
Well,
and
you
I'm taking
both
1d4?
take the damage, yeah. I don't know what the... Yeah, sure. Let's say.
What
Let's
does the
just take
stickiness
persistent.
consist of? Because, like, wouldn't it be like a conduit? I'm trying to
Is
find
it,
loopholes.
is it conducive? Is
Yeah.
it conductive? Is it highly
Like
conductive
your
sticky
D4
materials?
is halved, but they still take.
We're
the
getting
full D4.
deep into the synergy between them. I don't know.
Pulls out my physics book. Let's see.
Would that also apply to people that he's healing as well?
Anytime he comes into physical contact with somebody,
You'll be fine.
you get a little
Does this
shock.
take place after I've slept?
No, this takes place on the slap.
What? No, you're not the DM.
No, 100% takes place on the slap.
That's how we discovered.
Look, I actually really like having the +2 to my perception.
Yeah, sure.
So I think I'm going to keep that one and lose the sticky.
Okay, so you're no longer sticky, but you are charged with electricity, and your hair is constantly like, zzz.
Whoa, dear me. And my mustache is like, oh,
Ow!
why did you do that?
Ooh, ooh, ooh. I didn't do that. You did that.
You did that.
I've never, look.
4 points of damage for me and you.
Oh, he rolls for me too?
Sure, yeah.
I hate this place.
Born and raised here.
But the good news is he's no longer sticky, and you can knock that sample right out of his hand.
I don't want to touch him.
Wow, that was wild.
What happened? Ow!
Ow!
Oh my God. Touch Philip.
4 points of damage for me and you.
Before this game started, everybody's like, Jim is so mean, he kills everybody. Bartimus is just going to start touching everybody until you're all dead. It had nothing to do with me.
Well, this is unfortunate. I believe I have some sort of static buildup on me from perhaps the wild magic in the air. And this is what I've been trying to tell you, dear Haver. I think that the machine, we may have to design a type of shielding for the machine.
Like a casing.
More so, yes.
So that the exterior
What have you
elements-
learned about, yes, what have you learned about the effects of this wild surge of magic over the years?
Should I roll for this?
Is there basically anything that she
Or
can
to
help
know?
me figure out, like in designing, like a I don't know, like a Faraday cage, basically for the. Your tummy just rumbled. I heard it.
Huh?
Your tummy just rumbled.
It
I heard
did.
it.
It's those things in his stomach.
It's
Those
the
things.
things are coming
Yeah,
out,
they'll
getting
pass.
jingly.
All is one.
As long as it's getting jingly. Yeah, go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
Okay. Double checking what dubious knowledge, also how that would benefit me in this situation, but let's roll and just see where I'm at. What do I need to add on to help me figure this out? Yeah, we're just not doing good rolls tonight. And you said this is an Arcana check?
Yes.
Okay. What is that? 21? 21.
I mean, all you would know specifically, basically, imagine it like, somebody asked you. The problem isn't that you couldn't figure something out. The problem is that on the spot, you would need to dig into a lot more research and a lot more planning and designing for something like that.
Yeah.
So you just don't have an answer off the top of your head.
Okay.
Like, that's really kind of what that amounts to. You know, it's theoretically possible to have
Right.
something that can dampen magic fields. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of research into that.
Right.
It's just that, you know, right now while you're walking, you don't know the answer.
Yeah.
It's just hypothetically possible.
Well, I think if we all stuck our brains together, we might be able to come up with something. I believe that would solve this issue for the machine, because I do now have to say that I have considerable doubts of the efficiency of the machine operating in a field such as this that could do these type of things with unexpectedly to anything within it.
I mean, we've already seen it. First time in your demonstration, the second time when I first met you and you were conducting experiments on yourself. It's definitely something having to do with the environment affecting what you might, honestly, you might have stumbled across something that can actually help us. And yeah, I've admitted it. You might be able to save us. So,
Well, my dear Haver, small victories.
no, don't go running around telling the whole world just yet. Got to see it first.
All right, I won't do that. And he sticks a knife through his hand.
Let's.
He's going to be doing risky surgery on himself while we walk, Jim.
Kind of
What happens
risky
if he touches
surgery.
himself?
and-
Does he
Oh
do-
yeah.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't shock himself.
We
I'm going to
should.
attempt the DC 20, by the way.
Okay.
I'm gonna change course and redirect toward the water purification plan, unless the other community is closer.
Well, there is Underforge. You would guess that if you're going to Shorebend or Underforge, either one would actually be equally close. Like either one.
Okay.
They're pretty much like, because Shorebend is basically northeast from where you're standing. And if you wanted to get to Underforge, the entries to that would be northwest.
Oh, completely
It's kind of
opposite.
like,
Let's go to the water
but as you're
purification plan.
standing there trying to figure out where to go, the two other goblins standing there like, well, you know, you were saying that you might not want us to we actually do have like a little safe room that we use a lot of times when we're out and we can't get back home. There's it's that we could go to the bank.
I mean,
You guys want to go to the bank?
is that on the way or in that general
Well, I
direction?
mean, like it's nearish by, but nobody will bother us there. You know, if you want to.
Might be.
I mean, you
safer.
can go to Underforge, but they're kind of, they've got a lot of, it's fine. I mean, you know, I don't know, the crab
not
claw,
that-
they're not going to like that.
Yeah.
Well, we've just heard that they're turning a lot of people away who
I've
have
heard.
the mutations. They're getting real weird about it, you know,
Yeah.
I mean.
Bit uppity.
Yeah, which is weird because it doesn't seem like, you know, they're not only turning people away, but they're kicking people out. So it's affecting them down there too, but they still seem to think it's some kind of like contaminant they can keep out. But
Yeah.
I don't know, it's getting kind of rocky there.
Fair enough. Yeah, we'd love to. I feel like it'd be
Yes.
better,
All of
especially
us-
if they know that we're out here trying to look for a location. At least we can keep a down low.
We'll take you to the bank. Yeah, nobody will bother us there. It's
And
nice.
we could drop you guys off there.
It'll be a little cramped with all of us, but you know, that's fine.
Okay.
It's not a big deal.
You hear a and Philip explodes in my bag, and this colorful poof comes out of the bag, healing me for 3d10 healing.
Ooh.
Wow.
But then he becomes unstable, so now I will need another 10 minutes to retune him.
Do you shock Philip when you touch him?
Well, I
Yes.
would. I think I would.
Yes.
Would I shock Philip?
I mean, do you want to shock Philip? Kirby wants Philip to be shocked.
I just want equality
Kirby
amongst
wants Philip to be
myself and
horrifically
Shockery.
mangled.
Amongst myself and
Can we do a
Philip.
poll in chat? Is that something we could do?
I believe it's theoretically possible, but I have no idea.
Hey, Tech, can we do a poll in chat? Sure. That was
that a yes?
Tech saying yes.
Philip says
Okay, yeah,
yes.
I mean, I guess do a poll in chat. Have you guys all decide whether Philip should be destroyed by near contact with Artemis like we all are.
I would say currently he's still in his bag. He didn't come out, so he just exploded from there. But yes, I'll respect the chat, whatever the chat says.
Yay.
New follow.
Democracy.
Will Acquittal agrees with you. I should follow just because of that.
Yeah.
So
forgot what I was gonna
the Rec and sorry, I forgot his name for some reason. Rec
Crumb.
and Crumb. They sort of like scurry up to the front of the pack and begin leading you down a secondary pathway, and eventually, after about 20-25 minutes or so, you come to a building that it looks completely unremarkable, half collapsed, and something that you would sort of pass by without even a second thought. But they go picking through the rubble and like picking their way, and they actually like get down and like crawl through these two collapsed stones that form sort of a little archway, and they crawl in there. And Crumb turns around and says, "Oh yeah, you gotta just squeeze on down here."
I'm fairly small. Not
Yeah,
as
I mean,
small as
you're
you guys,
actually
so I'm
fine.
just like-
You can actually, it's not a big deal for you at all. I would say these two probably are the only ones that actually have to sort of squeeze their way. You would have had such an easy time
Of course,
if you had only kept your gelatinous form.
Well, come
But
on, guys.
You,
let's go.
when you are able to stand again, you're actually in a fairly well put together, sturdy like hallway, and at the end of it, there is a big, heavy, like bank vault door. And Crumb says, "Yeah, it's we kind of made like a little safe house in there. The only problem, it's very very secure." And it is a little bit of a pain to get into because we don't have like a key or the combination. So we just kind of pick our way through every time, you know. But it keeps other people from getting in there. You know, we're pretty good at it. You know, we've gotten in there.
Do you get locked in?
Times. No, you can open it from the inside just fine.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we knew what we were doing. It's pretty well converted.
Okay.
So they go up and they're going to spend quite a bit of time. Like they're fuddling with it. Rec has this like little stethoscope thing, and she's got it to the door, and Crumb is turning the wheels, and they're like, "Oh no, it was the other way. Go back." And they spend, it's clear that they're going to take some time cracking this safe. But they claim that on the other side is a nice little space where you guys will all be safe. And unless anybody has anything that they want to be doing, I know you're probably just fixing Philip at that point, so they're getting him back into.
I'd probably be
regular
helping
shape.
them.
Yeah,
crack the door.
you are helping them do that, and just out of curiosity, make a thievery check for me. See how well
While she's doing that, Jim, I was gonna let everybody else go in the hole first. I want to do a quick perception check before
Yeah,
I find it
go ahead.
behind everybody. Nice. That I do believe is a Michael Jordan, Jim.
Michael Jordan, you
Wait, did you
say?
not 20?
No.
45?
Oh.
No. Huh?
45?
45?
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
No.
23, Adam Ray.
Oh.
Yeah, 45.
23. 23, Jim.
Okay, you got a 23, and you are fairly confident that nothing is following you, and that you don't see any signs of anything dangerous like in the vicinity around the bank. You don't think that this has been sort of like become the home for some horrible beast or anything like that. You see no signs of any potential danger, immediate danger. So.
Well, I was just thinking too, because she's saying, I mean, they knew where we were heading. They knew we were heading to Waxworks and just making sure that nobody was like on our tail.
Well, Jack and Lear knew where you were headed, but theoretically, if you're in trouble, whoever else, like, unless he's spilling the beans, which you don't think he would.
Or Cerberus.
Or Cerberus, or the Iron Collective. They may have been able to. Yeah, well,
they
no,
know?
actually,
Iron
they
Collective wouldn't have known we were going to the.
It would have been Cerberus. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I guess the question is, how much can you trust Cerberus?
Yeah.
I don't know.
How much do you trust him?
Well, I rolled a nat 20 on my thievery check. So that is a 33.
It takes about 10 minutes of work, but you and Rec and Crumb are able to get this big vault door open. You give it the big final spin and peel open this door, and inside there is basically like a little bunker space. All of the shelves have been cleared out of there. You see like some cots. You see some stacks of non-perishable, like wrapped foods and stuff. There's all kinds of, basically anything you might need if you needed to hide out in a spot for a couple of days. Things were dangerous on the outside are right inside this vault, free for all of you to take, which basically gives you a safe place to have a full, proper rest, if you would like, and do anything you might want to do. At this point, this is a chance for me to turn things over to you and just say, how do you pass the night? How is this camp like? It's a little bit cramped. It was not only is it designed for goblin people, but it's also designed for a smaller crew. So obviously Thorn and Bartimus are a little bit too big for a lot of the furniture in here. But, I mean, it's better than sleeping outside. That's for darn sure.
So what you're saying is we're all moving about, probably bumping into each other is what
And everybody's dead because they keep touching each other. And that's the end of VANTAM.
It's funny because didn't you picked that mutation for him, or you rolled for
Well,
him?
he rolled the mutation.
Oh, okay. Trying to pin it on Jim again.
They were trying to make it my fault.
Jim's
I don't know.
I want to talk to Thorn.
Sure.
I want to
like crawl in and Thorn being bigger, he's not gonna try to lay on like any of this stuff. He's gonna just find a spot on the wall. You should see him post up and just lay his head back, close his eyes.
I mean, I'm sure you can at least sit down, extend your legs. I mean, yeah.
Legs out in front.
You had said that you didn't like the water. I know you had mentioned that you had worked as a guard at the prison, but what happened? I know that there was a lot of destruction there when everything went down, but how was it?
So Thorn's eyes are still closed, like when you're asking him that.
Yeah.
And he kind of opens them for a second, and then you see his eyes kind of flutter as we kind of pass back in time a little bit. And what you see is Thorn is standing in front of this giant sea devil, these giant massive teeth. He's beating the crap out of it. It just like rips his chest open. He starts bleeding, and it's almost like this. The vision kind of goes like very fuzzy, as it's almost like him just like remembering back to everything happened. You see him start following forward, and the vision kind of goes out and comes back, and you see this very. Seems like a very short man wearing like a top hat, walking over and opening this door, and this giant just rush of water just comes, and then the vision goes black again. It stays that way for a minute. You just hear this heavy breathing, and you see like when you see a camera and you see the eyes sort of like open and looking up at the face of Hogan, just like looking down. Oh, brother, you okay? And just kind of look down, you see his hands are kind of like inside of Thorn's wound, like on his chest, and looks over and he sees Zamira sitting there. And then he's surrounded by other people, and there's all these cells and everything as well. And people start talking to him and over top of him, and he just closes his eyes. And he wakes up again, and then the vision sort of changes, and you see him like sort of walking around now as well too. And there's all these other people around, and then there's almost like an explosion, a loud noise. You see him whip around, and this like door just comes flying open, and there's just what looks like all these people in these prison uniforms come pouring in and just start like fighting and like getting a hold of these guards and other people that were still alive, and like cutting their throats, and this battle just like starts happening. And you just see Thorn just grabs Zamira and Hogan, and then this other guy too, shorter guy, and he has a little name tag by name of Mackie. Really awesome guy, you should really meet him. And he grabs him and starts just running down a hallway, like a dark hallway, and this room that they appear in, there's just all this dark water, and you see them just like splash underneath, and it's just dark. He opens his eyes again. He's laying up looking at the sky, and you just see like Mackie over top of him, like pulling him up out of the water. And he looks around, and there's no Hogan or Zamira anywhere. And that's when Thorn's eyes just kind of pop open. He just looks at you, and he says, "I never want to go into the water again." I will go with you. Don't expect me to get in.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. Went through that. I want to attempt to do a. Is there a muted version that I can do of something like infectious enthusiasm? Like, it's not calm emotions, but I could sense he's going through a lot right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to like help him out here. 'Cause I feel like he went somewhere, and I want to try and help
Yeah.
bring him back.
Magically, not really.
Okay.
Just gotta be his friend.
If yeah, whatever you need from us. If we have to go into the water to get to the plant, we'll a boat. Do you feel comfortable on a boat, or you'd rather stay on land?
I haven't been close to the shore in almost 3 years.
Okay. Okay.
In time, maybe. But thank you.
We're here for you. Thank you for what you've done so far for us.
So I imagine this is a small room.
Fairly. Yeah.
So chances are maybe we've heard this.
Sure, I
Weren't
would
those
think so, yeah.
visions, or did you explain that stuff?
No, that was just Thorn going like PTSD, like going
Okay.
back to everything that happened essentially 3 years ago when this explosion first happened.
So you
in
see
VANTAM.
Philip floating up to you, and Philip has something that like he's not really holding because like he can't hold, but he's kind of like floating, sort of like belly up. But in there's something held in there, and
Wait,
he's handing you what he's giving you is you can hold Philip. What he's giving you,
in my right hand though. I can't do it in my left hand.
what he's holding is an air bladder.
Oh, sick.
What does air bladder do?
Air bladder lets you basically breathe
Underwater.
underwater.
Air bladder. Oh, I got you. And he looks down at Philip. He grabs it, gives him a little scritchy scratch on the chin, and just kind of looks up at Bartimus and just like that little head nod. Floats back.
Greta's head kind of pops up from behind Bartimus, and she's like, well, actually, I don't mean to eavesdrop, but it's not, you don't need to go in the water to get to the facility. It's just, on the off chance we get attacked from the land, we might need to make a water escape. So, it's only like a last resort situation.
Okay.
Well, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
We'll
Luckily,
board
there's
that
a
boat
bridge.
when we get
docks.
to it.
So Bartimus has. Sorry, I'm looking here. I'm looking at the poll results. Poll results. Should Philip take damage? Yes, 27%. No, 36%. Double damage, 38%.
Philip should take double damage.
All right.
Yikes.
Philip takes double damage.
People have spoken. Ava is vindicated.
Thank you.
But it's unclear. Do I take double damage as well?
I mean, I
Sure.
would think, yeah, sure.
whatever.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, we don't. Okay, Lily, we don't want to kill anybody here.
No, this is what you wanted. You push for this. Philip and I take double damage if we touch each other. I understand. Philip comes over to me, and he goes to sit on my shoulder, and of course we both get zapped. So we'll both take double damage. So we each take 2 points of damage. Oh, Philip, I don't know that you can touch me right now, my very best friend. I'm so sorry. And so he kind of holds open the pouch and is careful not to touch it. And Philip goes, tucks himself in the pouch. But Bartimus, if you notice, or you wouldn't notice this maybe now, but as Bartimus sat down, he actually had like these like things on his side that he was just like patting. And when he pats them, it like you see this thing roll out from his backside, and they like inflates to like a little like inflatable seat that he sits on, and then he has these little things in his collar that pumps up to like a little pillow on his head, so he's just sitting sort of like an inflated pillow, an inflated seat cushion, and he's sitting where he was across the room from you guys. Obviously, he overheard what you were saying, but he's been working on something, so he's just busy writing and working. What about you, Greta?
I've just been sitting with my cousins, and we've been going through looking at the different things that did the enchanted wax that we found, not the candles, but the sealing wax, they had different properties, right? Or was it all?
It was all just
property?
the one kind of thing. Yeah, it was one used it as sealing wax, and it would be unopenable except by the person it was addressed to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I know that Bartimus may not know this because they specifically didn't want to tell him about it anyways, but you picked up candles. I just have a mechanical, Adam has a mechanical question about that. Those candles, if they were to light one, would it be everybody in the room or just one person?
It'd be one person.
Be whoever lit it?
Yeah, whoever lights it, you sit there and sort of, huff the fumes for 10 minutes, and then you are restored some of your health.
All right.
Speaking of which, just because you certainly have as much time as you need to do character stuff, but mechanically, is there anything like that you need to do? Is there any healing that needs done? Is there any refocusing for focus points? Any of that stuff that you can do?
We're taking a rest.
Yeah, and you'll also be able to sleep overnight, but I'm just letting you know, like, if there was anything. Yeah.
Yes, I would like to perform healing on myself, like basic medicine stuff.
Yeah. You can absolutely treat wounds.
Treat wounds.
You can
That's
treat
the old. No,
wounds
you've
on
been
yourself,
doing bad today.
Excellent.
Let's do you.
Now with focus points as well too, if we rest, we gain those back too.
Yeah,
right?
you shouldn't have a focus point
It's the
issue after
same
this.
number.
Okay.
So that was. It's 18.
18 is enough.
Sick.
It's not too hard to put some bandages on. You're going to restore 2d8 hit points to yourself.
Does anybody else need more healing than they would get if they slept?
I forgot how the rest system works. There's 10-minute, and then there's...
Yeah, the 10-minute is mostly just for like, it's mostly important for certain things like using medicine skill. It takes 10 minutes to do that. There are certain activities that take 10 minutes, but then there's the overnight, which is going to get you all of your like spell slots back and stuff. If you're not injured or you haven't used any like limited abilities, it's just going to get you some hit points back. If you're already at full, then it's just going to be like, okay, great, you're good.
So a full night's sleep would get me back to full HP?
Yes, it should. How much are you down?
10. 10?
Oh yeah, you'll be fine overnight. Yeah.
Just a third of my.
You get hit points equal to your Constitution modifier multiplied by your level.
Well, is your Constitution modifier down because of drained, or is it just everything
I
else?
think it's just fortitude.
Yeah. So her Constitution modifier is still whatever.
Constitution times what?
Times your level.
Will she wake up still stupefied? You're stupefied.
No, when she wakes up, she's going to be.
I'm drained.
You're drained.
Yeah,
Okay.
just the drained.
Okay.
Although, if you had another mutation, you could get rid of that one.
Why
'cause
would you
already had
say
two.
that?
Well, because she might not want to be drained anymore.
Oh,
She
okay.
only had another mutation.
I mean, I do kind of like the idea that I can't die, but
That's true.
I do miss my HP.
HP.
Well, I'm gonna start getting ready to rest.
Sure, yeah.
And Hava's gonna find how many cots are in here. I assume there's
There's enough.
there's
for
enough.
everybody, yeah.
Okay, I'll just pick a cot, hop in, throw the covers over my head. Yeah.
You all, one by one, begin finding a place to rest, drifting off back to sleep.
So, just for what it's worth, Bartimus's, for flavor text, just for flavor text, Bartimus's sleep is actually him just writing and studying all night. That's his flavor text. But that's effectively sleep. But he does sleep with a nightlight so that he can write. It's for Philip.
Wink,
for Phil.
wink.
For Philip's nightlight.
Yeah.
So you all drift off to sleep one by one. And the night passes, uneventfully. It's not the most comfortable sleep you've ever had, but you know what? It's nice. It's actually really nice in here. The goblins, scavengers did a really good job of making a nice, cozy space for themselves to rest in whenever they need to. And Thorn, you're the first to awaken the following morning. And when you open your eyes, you find yourself in a big, grungy, steel room with a big window. And when you look out that window, all you can see is the endless expanse of an ocean. And then you hear this as spider web cracks begin to form in the glass, and then it explodes inward, and a jet of water slams into your body, and you are crushed against the wall of this room you are in, and you black out. And when you come to, there's a flash of you are just underwater, and you look to your left, and you see the floating corpse of a dwarf in a bowler hat. You look to your right, and you see a woman cradling the broken form of a bird to her chest. When her body like turns towards you in the water, you can see that her eyes are glazed over, and her lips are blue, and she doesn't move. And you try to swim towards her, but you can't move at all, and you black out again. When you wake up a third time, you're just on the floor of this room. And it's completely empty. But you hear these heavy footfalls. You see a black boot come down right next to your head. And you can just barely turn your gaze upward enough to see this tall, silhouetted figure. And it's all shadow, except for two shining eyes looking down at you. And he has these incredibly long hands and fingers. And he reaches down into your chest and he says, "Don't worry, brother. I'm just here to help. I'm just here to help, brother." And he pulls away from you. You can see he has your still beating heart in his hand. He says, "I'm just here to help, brother." And he eats it whole, and you black out again. And when you wake up, you are in the vault with your companions. And it is still maybe just before dawn. You're covered in sweat, enough that you almost feel like perhaps you're soaked to the bone. But you're just where you went to sleep.
As Thorn opens his eyes, he would I'd just blink erratically and then search around to see it, and it's almost like he's like, "Oh." And then he wants to look and to make sure that the other 5 people that are in this room with him are okay.
Everybody else is just sleeping peacefully, unaware of your troubles.
He just reaches up and he grabs the locket around his neck, closes his eyes, and kind of rubs it for a second, and leans back, and then he shuts his eyes and gets into his morning meditation state.
Go into your morning meditations. Calm your thoughts and your mind. Before too long.
Stick my hand inside my claw.
Yes, that's right.
Claw hands.
Your new claw hands. Because you're a crab person.
Did you hear that, Diana? I'm a crab person. You're a lizard person, I'm a crab person.
Before too long, everybody awakens. You're all, I imagine at this point, fully healed, refreshed. All of your spell slots are back to normal. And the day is yours. There's enough like foil-packed food that you have sort of a weird weird mix of like bread and trail mix and like the equivalent of pudding cups for breakfast, but you know, it's all good. It's just
Hava is eating her food, and she's very distant, I would say, like concerned the fact that it's morning and she hasn't heard back from Dakin. Like understanding, like if we were gonna have a message, I understand we couldn't have a message the same day, but like she's kind of murmuring these things underneath her breath. You should have reached back out. He knows I can't reach out. What's going on? She's just eating.
okay. Anybody else doing anything as you wake up?
Greta will approach the group and she'll just be like, so, I know we haven't spent a lot of time together, but you really helped my cousins and me out back at the wax factory. So if you need anything, we're real handy. We know how to make things if you need help making your thing. But we're here. We're happy to help in any way that we can.
We appreciate it. I'm sure you're really good at what you do. I mean, I've seen it. Your thievery skills are really good. But granted, the situation's changed. We are operating in secret now. There's some people that don't want us operating in any way. They know.
Is that why you couldn't go home?
Yes. I don't know that they know that you're with us, so there could be a chance that you may be in trouble too. With that being said, I hope you know how to fight.
We can handle our own, for the most part, except with that lizard thing.
Yeah.
Well, I, for one, have been busy all night long coming up with a name for our device. I believe I have the perfect solution for what the magnificent Marcus device needs.
Thorn opens one eye.
It needs its own form of magic. In fact, I have the Mithracite-attuned giant interference cage, all designed here for us. And so, someone who's crafty, or someones who are crafty, I would love that help, because what I'm thinking, and he basically kind of shows you guys a whole diagram that he has of the machine and the scale that he thinks it should be, and he sort of sketched out what looks like a cage around the device. And he says, now, I believe that with these materials here that we would collect and construct, if we could plug them in somehow to and this is where I would need some help, some study perhaps, into anti-magic field. I believe we could enhance and expand an anti-magic field to be large enough to overcome the effects of the mithracite without dampening the effectiveness of the machine. And so, but I believe everything inside of the cage could be negated, magically speaking.
Okay.
So we wouldn't have the same issues that we had at your first demonstration. Or we'd at least be...
Well, yes, the wild magic surges, in theory, would not affect anything inside the cage. Or at least, I shouldn't say anything. I believe I can attune it specific to the machine workings that I have in there. It's sort of like attuning not just the cage, but the cage is actually attached to the device. So I suppose that an organic individual could perhaps grip onto the cage, but I fear what that would do to them. I'm not sure I've designed it with organics in mind, so to speak. I don't think anyone should be inside the cage, not until we do some more testing, but I believe the mechanics within the cage would be safe. Does that work for you, GM?
I mean, I don't know. I have to really consider all the implications of everything you're the spot.
All right. Yeah. And also, I think Jim is great.
While Barnabas starts explaining what the cage is going to do, Hava's going to just start trying to recall any knowledge on the anti-magic device. That's what you had mentioned? I don't know if that would fall under crafting or arcana. But.
So it would probably be Arcana, but it would probably fall sort of under what we had talked about the previous day, where you were trying to recall knowledge on it.
Yeah.
I would say that without access to
A book.
more study material, there's
Okay.
really nothing else that you could just like drum up.
There's
with.
nothing that I
You know
would have
that
already
like there was research, like there are like little things that's like, oh yeah, maybe that would work, but they're
Who knows,
projects
I might
that
get a
you.
natural 20. We'll just see what happens. Nope.
That is not natural.
But what is that? You said arcana, so...
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a... Is 17... Or no, is 19 a failure?
I mean, yeah, I would, because you had a 21 before. I didn't
Yeah.
really have
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
that was-
Okay, so I do have... I have dubious knowledge. So on a failure of any type of skill check, that's recalling knowledge, I learn a bit of true knowledge and a bit of erroneous knowledge, but you don't have any way to differentiate the two. So tell me more.
I love it.
Okay. You are trying to think back based on what he's telling you and like things that would help. You seem to recall a study that somebody was doing in where they were attempting to create sort of a polar opposite charge using mithracite that had already been drained of its magical energy. And if they could create a sort of negative mithracite, they could effectively cancel out any equal or lesser charge from that was being emitted by any positively charged mithracite. You also remember that there was a study that people were doing with siphoning magic into alternate planes, where it didn't actually dampen the magic, it simply redirected it into a place that you all were not. But you don't recall, you know that one of the studies was bearing a lot of fruit, and you just can't remember which one.
Okay. Interesting.
Do you relay that information to us?
Yes, yes.
Well, now, do you recall where you were when you read these studies? Is there a library in VANTAM? Have perhaps Cerberus, have you uncovered books of learning from these institutions? Where could we go to learn such things? Would it be the lake?
Have we?
I mean, it'd probably be the resolve, but we can't go back there right now. And anything that was any semblance of a library would have been the schools. And I mean, that's literally ground zero of where this whole thing started. And it's not safe there. Like the magical chart, it's not safe there in any way.
Would I know that to be true?
You would. I mean, there's no reason not to think it. Like that. That seems like maybe to say yes, that's very true.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
going to the university grounds is like nobody does that.
Nobody does.
Not even
Okay.
the most foolish of adventurers do that.
Got it. Okay. Well, then we have to. If we're going to design the magnificent Marcus device with magic, I have to find a better way to say that. Anyways, if we have to design that, we're going to need to do some learning. And the only way I know to do that is to go to these places where the books and the scrolls and the documents are.
Well, we could at least get the contraption started being built. We don't have to start it up necessarily, right?
Well, yes, but again, it would.
You've already built your machine.
I have concerns.
I want to go back to, because we didn't really address it, and because during all of this, I remember you just asked if you would know of any place. You could make a society check.
I would love to.
I'm not going to assist her on that.
You should make a society check. You don't look satisfied with that result. You do have a hero point.
Not, but I don't know if if it's bad enough that I want to use my hero points. A 16.
16? Oh yeah, you can't recall.
Do you want a metagame? No, okay.
Oh, I forgot it. Thank you for reminding us.
No, I don't want a metagame. Not in this moment.
So my dear Haver, I respect your tenacity and spirit to get this done, but I have some concerns. You've all indicated that there are individuals quite unhappy with me and my device, and if I'm being perfectly honest, now that I have come around to well, perhaps not understanding the magic in the air here, but respecting it, I have concerns that if we were to build the magnificent Marcus device and then not have the magic around it and someone were to activate it, I shudder to think, as you described before, you felt that was a big inconvenience. I feel that the magnificent device would be far more inconvenient.
You're not wrong, and yes, I agree. And just we either get this thing moving, we can parallel path the building of the machine while we search for ways to get the cage together. But if they catch us and stop us, it's game over. But if we have something of value to show them, maybe there can be some leeway with those that don't want us to keep moving forward with this.
Well, how to build the magnificent Marcus device is all inside of here and here. I just toss it into the corner and say, it appears it's locked away in a safe somewhere.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I would say that's plenty of leverage for you all.
Okay.
I think we need to go figure out how to build the magic to surround the magnificent Marcus.
Okay.
I don't claim these are brilliant ideas, Jim.
I mean, if there's a version of it that we can read legibly, God forbid you get in a situation where you're not able to help us, it's...
I trust Greta. She and her team seem very capable. The learnings her father have taught her seem to be just of the utmost, highest level. I respect them entirely, and I believe in her.
Well, thank you, but I don't know if I would be able to recreate your machine. Greta walks over the corner, picks up the notebook, opens it up. Can I read it?
Oh, no.
Is it legible?
Make a crafts check.
Is it legible?
It's certainly legible,
It's
but is
doctor's
it understandable to you?
18.
18. It isn't complete gibberish to you,
Uh-huh.
but it would take a lot of time and effort for you to unravel it. Like, basically, it's same kind of deal with what, like, Kate was talking about, where it's like, it's not that you couldn't figure this out, it's that
It's gonna
you
take
need a
time.
lot of time
Yeah.
with this, because you're A, reading somebody's shorthand, and B, it's Bartimus.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of weird diagrams in here. But with enough time, yeah, you could probably tease together what was going on in here.
All right. Well, then Greta's going to close it, wrap it back up, toss it back in the corner, maybe under a cot. And be like, if I have enough time, I think I could probably
Yeah.
do it.
Okay.
But I guess it depends on how.
Well, that's just if you're losing me. Let's not plan on losing me, all right?
No.
Okay, I think I'll stick around then.
Look, Hava flips a coin. A die. Even
You have a coin.
I do have. Oh, I do
You
have
have
a
an
coin.
actual
I have a coin.
But that's got
Okay.
six sides.
I also have a
Coordinates
D2.
typically like-
Heads, we go to the resolve and sneak our way in to find the knowledge we're looking for. Yeah,
Tails.
the very place we are told not to go. And Tails, we go to the power plant, the water plant, and hope that someone from the Iron Collective is there ready to help us. Maybe Dak and Lear? Okay. Everyone on board with that? Okay.
Sure.
We're going to the power plant.
Oh, we're going to the power plant. All right.
We're going to power plant. No knowledge. Should we just go to the resolve?
We just had a whole thing about flipping a coin.
I know. It felt like it was
Best
hoping
2
it
out
would
of
build
3.
up.
That's 2 out of 3. There we go.
Okay.
Wait, you didn't even flip it. You just threw it once.
My head still
Tossing
hurts.
a coin out of flip a coin.
Like a
Flip
frisbee.
It's 3 times it's been tails.
Oh, it's tail. All right.
It's been tails.
We're going to the water purification.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry. It could have been a stealth mission or just a Hail Mary. We're doing Hail Mary.
Hey, whatever you
Okay.
wanna do.
Maybe we'll pass by a library. Who knows?
Maybe you'll pass by a library. Just for kicks and giggles, why don't you roll me 2 more d20s? Tell me the individual results for each. Just whatever's on the die.
18
Okay.
Okay.
and a 4.
4.
Could say no.
Okay.
You could use a hero point.
Shouldn't I?
As you are all sitting there talking, and Hava is fine. Like, fine. We'll go to the water purification plant. Crumb like lifts up his hand and says, "Oh well, I don't know what they had up there, but there was I got a commission to go check out. There was this old collector who used to live where was it? Up in the rich section. I mean, it's not rich anymore. Anyway, he was kind of a big adventure type, and he had all kinds of research novels. He asked me to go get his books some weeks back, and I didn't bring it to Cerberus because it just didn't seem like the kind of thing that it just is. We weren't the payout wasn't going to be worth the risk. It's really nasty up in that section. Nobody goes up there without a really, really good reason. If you really wanted to go, I think I could look. Probably have the address written down somewhere. I could give it to you, and you could go if you wanted to. I don't know if you'll have what you want, but I mean, you want books. I mean, they had books.
Chance that the
It's
books have
pretty
what we
nasty
need?
up there. I mean, I passed on the job. It's not wise, but it's not 7 Towers either. I mean, that's just nobody goes to 7 Towers.
Yeah.
It's doable. You all seem competent enough. If that's what you want to do, if that's where you want to go.
It's a better option than center of the city.
Yeah. And going to the water plant without.
You didn't seem
plan.
too committed to the water.
I wasn't. You brought up a good point. God, I'm agreeing with Artemis.
Oh, it's
Where are we going?
What a horrible experience this must be for you. I say we do what the GM says.
Well, I'm telling you guys that you have 3 paths before you. You guys do whatever you want.
If we wait around, will you give us a 4th?
I don't have any more paths for you now.
I can't be your leader for everything. We're kind of in a pickle. I was really hoping to hear back from Dakin, but it's been a day. He should have been able to message me back with any type of update. Does anyone have a message?
Well, come to think of it, if we think that he might be in trouble, you passing the message back to him, telling him where we're going, maybe if we do sidestep and don't go directly there,
Good point.
we do head up and get any of this information, and then we can mosey around that way.
Yeah.
Jim,
Yes.
is there a mail system still in place in VANTAM?
Not that's like operation. I mean, like the best equivalent they have is people like Greta might, while they're going out, they'll take a commission sometimes to, like, if you want something transported from one little safe zone to another, they'll do it. But there's no like postal service.
How close, Crumb, how could we, I would like to make this suggestion, perhaps, to the group. Per Haver's request, we could go to where Crumb has stated, this inventor or this magician's residence. I think that's a fine idea. There may be some studies there that would be most effective. But I'm curious if we could perhaps skirt past some little bit of civilization and perhaps write a letter to Dakon and perhaps seal it with the wax that can only be opened by Dakon. And send him a message.
That's a good point. And if he is in trouble, if someone else intercepts the message, they can't read it.
And perhaps you have a code with him that you could write the message in.
Do I have a code?
Sure you do. Say
I
you do.
totally have a code
I knew
with
it.
him.
I mean, if you all want, we'll go back to resolve. I mean, I know you guys think you're in trouble, but I don't.
They don't even know
you.
we-
I mean, we'll just go
We
back
might-
in there and, it's not a problem for us. We
good
should
point.
probably be getting home anyway. Feeling a lot better now that we took this rest here.
I start working up a letter.
Fantastic. I think this is a wonderful plan.
Wow, you're actually. It was. Good job, Artemis.
Crumb, do you have that address?
Oh yeah, it was up in Holosong Hills. It was, and he just sort of writes down a house address for you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I might go with them if you and Rick want to deliver this message.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll let Cerberus know you're okay, but we won't tell anybody what y'all are doing. I know it's all secret and whatever. It's fine.
What? I wrote the letter.
I'm curious about this letter.
Oh, there's nothing on the paper.
Oh, you
It's
didn't
just for
write it? You
flavor.
didn't write a letter? You didn't write a real letter?
I feel like there would've been
It's
I feel
only a flavor letter?
What are you doing?
I feel like there's a lot to write, and I
I
would
am
be here for a long
immersed in
time.
this. I was in the story and everything. Now I realize I'm on a set. This isn't even my hat or glasses.
He's had a
What is
metagame
this?
experience. He's stunned three.
Wait, you're not real life? I'm not really hurt?
No, don't use your meta magic yet.
What?
Just don't do it yet. All right, bullet points then. But like, it's gonna be a lot. We're gonna take 10.
It's fine.
Haven takes 10 minutes.
Okay. You write a
I'm
letter.
like burning up, you guys.
I'm sorry. You write a nice letter that's definitely real, and then you seal it.
It's okay.
with
When
the
he
magical
reads
wax.
it, she'll let us know what it says.
We'll loop back. You'll chat. You'll be able to find out what's in the letter next time on VANTAM.
It's the same as the
I hand it to Greta to put the seal on it.
All right.
And
Yeah, I mean, using the sealing wax, anybody could do it. So you seal it up, and you know that what you have to do is you have to take a little, like a little anything, like a feather or a stylus of some kind, a stick, a toothpick, and you make like a little D and an L for his initials, which seals it. And you focus on exactly who it is you want to be able to open this. And now, nobody could open that letter without destroying it, who is not the intended recipient.
I hand it to Crumb.
Sure. Says, oh yeah, thanks. Okay, cool. Yeah. That's great. All right, well, we're gonna go, I guess, if unless you have anything else you want us to take back.
You two be safe.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll send the rest of the sealing wax with them, since that's the whole reason why we.
Oh yeah,
Why not?
sure. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. That's good. All right then. Well,
Thank you.
No problem. See you later. Have fun, everybody.
And just hold on to those things when they come out. Another 48 hours or so.
I'll put them somewhere. That's good.
Only to Dakin.
Well, yeah, only to him.
Yeah.
Alrighty, that's good. Okay.
And make sure it's him. There's like changelings and stuff out there.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
This is getting weird.
Yeah.
Changelings and stuff. I don't know.
He would know the code,
Yeah. What's the code?
the 7th tower.
Okay.
He'll know.
Cool. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you later.
Are we leaving
I want
the
you to
vault, or
know
is
that-
he leaving the vault?
You can end this, DM.
I know.
You just imaginary
How
walk
long we
away.
can keep this weird, awkward
You
goodbye
just
going?
imaginary walk away, and that'll be the end.
Are we all leaving the vault together?
Oh, this is weird. We're
When
both
you
going
start-
the same
you
direction.
start
We
walking
say
the
our
same
goodbyes.
way.
So weird.
There's
Oh, all right.
Oh, you have to crawl out first.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
They leave.
Okay.
Crumb and Wreck, they take all the sealing wax and your letter, and they head back off to, presumably, to resolve.
And we take that Addy to
And
that.
you get the Addy.
Yeah.
So now you have to decide: are you going to Shorebend or are you going to Holosong Hills?
Oh, the hills.
You're going to Solid. Okay, sorry, I didn't know that. I didn't realize the decision had been made.
Sounded
so
like that was
readily.
the group consensus.
Yeah.
With lots
We
of
need.
monsters.
That's why we're sending the information to. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this sounds fantastic.
Oh, he's.
Okay.
He's fine.
Now, Jim,
Yes.
I do have one more question for you.
Mhm.
I have been so interested since I learned that there was a Heroic Endeavors headquarters here in VANTAM.
Mhm.
Would that be on our way?
That would have been in Fog Downs, which is closer to Resolve.
Just put a pin in that. I'd like to go there sometime.
Sure. Someday you shall.
Well, there's somebody in the basement I'd like to meet.
I'm
Somebody
sorry.
in the basement. Who's in the basement?
You put them there.
Or putting anybody in the basement? I have to go back and watch. I don't know. Okay.
Put him in the basement. Don't look at me, everybody.
This
I'm
is
not the
all
one that
Haver's
put-
doing, everyone.
No, it is not.
I
He
would
did
like-
some stuff too.
He did some stuff too. I would like whoever is leading this little expedition to make a survival check.
I feel like Greta has the
I've got
address.
the address.
Yeah.
I could do it. I got pretty good survival.
Sure.
22.
Nice.
22.
I love it.
Okay.
This is good.
You've been making your way north. And you have to take a little bit of a circuitous route because, again, in the center of the city is the Seven Towers district. And that place is currently a complete dead zone. But you can skirt pretty close to it. There's literally a visible barrier, not really barrier, but a visible sort of line that everybody knows not to cross.
Is there like a sheen in the air, like
It's-
there,
yeah.
or is it okay?
It's like looking sort of into a mirage a little bit.
Is it like that movie with Natalie Portman?
A little bit, yeah. It'd be kind of like that, yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
No,
Star Wars.
It's just like Star
Yeah,
Wars.
Black Swan.
Annihilation is the movie that he was talking about. But yeah, there's this sort of like shimmering in the air that marks a line that Hava, even without a check, you know that no one and nothing that has crossed that line has ever come out of. Nobody is certain if it is destroyed or killed. Anybody who has stood outside of that shimmering barrier and watched something pass through cannot recall with any certainty what happened when they watched whatever it was pass through that little shimmery barrier. It seems to be somehow completely unknowable. Nobody has any idea. No magical sensors have ever been able to see through it. No devices have ever been able to be cast in and brought back. Somebody even tried the old, like, tie a string to it and just haul it back real quick.
Yeah.
And there is a blank spot in their memory where they remember tossing an observing device, a clockwork spy, through the barrier, tied to a string. And then sometime later, they come to as if from a fugue state, and the rope, the device, everything's just gone, and they cannot account for the lost time or report back what happened. Nobody seems to be able to observe anything through this weird little shimmer. So nobody goes there because it's not good. Or maybe it's great. Who knows? It's unknowable. Either way.
Jim didn't write that part, is
When-
what he's saying.
I don't think we ever discussed this, but do we know if that shimmer developed immediately as
It
the
was-
explosion
Or
happened?
make an Arcana check.
Ooh. Nope, not rolling in there. Natural 20.
Natural 20. There it is.
It's the box, guys.
That's
Box.
where it is. You recall that the first documented observations of the shimmering barrier were about a month after the explosion. There were some weird reports of oddities previous to that, but the only definitive, trusted date that you have is about a month afterwards.
Okay.
There may have been some very strange developments leading up to it that account for some of the anomalies that occurred. But it's just things were really hazy.
Okay.
It's difficult to say. Either way, you begin making your way around and to the north. And Greta does a fairly good job of leading you through. She seems to know a lot of really safe routes to take.
I'd be taking like back ways.
Yeah, places where there's usually just enough traffic to sort of have cleared out whatever nasty little critters might lurk, or that are very hidden little spaces that you might not even notice from the street that pass like under and through wreckage that from the outside might look impassable, but once you get under there, it's really just like you're like in like a little like almost like an artificial cave almost that takes you through to the other side of the street where it can be completely unobserved. Seems to know all these little hidey holes, ins and outs of everything. As you make your way further north, you notice that it's not a surprise to those of you who grew up in VANTAM, but Bartimus, you would certainly take notice of the fact that even though everything is crumbling and in ruins, what is left behind becomes more and more, opulent, I guess is the word that I want to use. But it's very clear that you're moving from a place into a place that probably once held a lot of wealth, and it did. It was one of the wealthiest and richest places in any city in any of the known kingdoms.
I'm gonna lean over to Hava as we're now getting closer. I'm gonna say, my dear Hava, I want you to know that I believe in you, and I think I could speak for the whole group in saying that. Don't second guess yourself. Your passion is what gets us through this. We know you have the best interests in mind. Don't doubt what's in your heart.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, I'm doing what I can. Trying.
That's all anyone can do.
This is just, it's different for me. I'm one of,
Subsplosion.
boom. I'm one of the minds of the books. I was a professor. I studied this. I don't do this, or at least I didn't until the incident. So figuring out how to practice this more adventurous side of things is very new to me, and I'm learning as I go.
That's the best kind of learning I've found. That's why I do like to get my hands dirty, so to speak, is I enjoy finding the answers out there in the world, and I have done my fair share of reading and study, but sometimes the answers we seek are out there, and I'm so glad to see you here fighting for what you believe in.
Just got to get it right. We only have one shot at this, so it's the whole figuring it out while we go is hard to do, but it seems like it's the only way. It has to be right.
And you see Philip kind of poke up from the bag and then dart back down. And then kind of go back down.
Okay. Right. Anyway, yeah, so I'll do what I have to do. It's just not my expertise, but I'm learning. Even with my magic. That kind of came with the whole explosion package. Also new, so I'll figure it out.
I know you will. Proceed, GM.
You, as you move through this district, you begin to see more and more movement in the shadows out of the corner of your eyes. You begin to hear more and more sounds in the distance, some of them sounding like distant shouts, some of them more like the cries of wild beasts, some of them starting and then stopping very suddenly, as if cut off. There is a general sense of quiet in this area that you find more and more difficult to break. It becomes more of a force of will to speak, not because there's anything actually preventing you from doing so, but it's more the certainty that grows in you that every time you talk, there just might be something that hears you. But before too long, thanks to Greta's careful leadership, you are looking up at the not remains, but you're looking up at a only partially damaged, pretty expansive mansion. But more surprising than its intact nature is the fact that standing just outside of it, just inside this gate between the street and the house itself, are two figures. One of them, it looks to be like a boy with very long legs and very long arms and a very long neck. But despite those odd features, he appears to maybe be like a human boy of maybe 14, 15 years old.
Expert.
He has in one hand like a spear, and there is a helmet on his head that's clearly too large for him, and it's sort of like he's constantly having to adjust it as he is talking to, in hushed whispers, to a girl who is maybe a little older than him, but probably not by much. And she has these, instead of hands, these two just like octopus tentacles. And they're sort of wrapped around a big, heavy crossbow. And they're both just sitting outside this house, and they're talking with one another.
Are they sitting or standing?
The boy is standing, and the girl is sitting on the steps leading up to this house.
Do they appear to be guarding it, or just having stopped here for a chat?
I mean, difficult to say.
Okay. Well, hello there.
Oh, God.
You all waited.
You did this yourselves.
I'm doing, as soon as he opens his mouth, I think I have this, distracting shadows. I remain hidden by using large folk as a distraction to avoid drawing attention to yourself.
Okay. So you just sort of like slink into the shadows.
Hello there!
So that Bartimus is the... Does anybody else want to react in any way? You see Hava sort of like slinks off into the side. You sort of like lose track of her in the shadows. Greta, is there anything you want to do? Do you want to also hide, or?
Yeah, I'll give a hide.
All right, make a stealth check. Thorn.
Thorn's standing there just like guarding the two of them.
Stan, you sort of just take your place next to...
I would be there just keeping perception, see if I see anything else.
24.
24. Okay, you also sort of slink away into the shadows. When you shout, the boy, he like stands up straight, looks over at you, and is looking around. You see the girl looks not only at you, but she's also like looking to the sky. She's looking around. Everybody's in sort of this like immediate panic that passes very quickly. And then the boy is looking at you. He says, "Who goes there?"
Well, this is Thorn, and my name is Bartimus.
Oh,
What's
hiding.
yours?
I think it's squat.
I'm Hofkin.
Hello, Ofkin.
Do you seek an audience with the Coral King?
Yes,
Did you bring gifts?
absolutely.
Well, okay then. I mean, it looks, it looks right. So, okay. And he comes up to the gate and he like fiddles with the kid for a while, and it takes him a minute because his limbs are way too like all of his limbs. He's super awkward and gangly. But eventually he fits this key in this giant padlock and snaps it open and like bends open the gate.
This gate goes to the place that
going
we
to
were
the right
specifically heading.
It's like
I mean,
1708.
as far as I
Yeah.
I
But
can
we were
tell.
supposed to go to 1709.
Yeah,
We were going-
Oh no, that's across the street.
All right. Well, thank you so much. All right. Yeah, heading on in.
Okay. What are you two
I-
doing? You're mostly you're hidden at this point.
No, well, the action that I took, I am using the creature as
Yeah.
a distraction to sneak or hide. So I'm
Right.
sneaking behind
She's
him.
like
So you
the
wanna
terrible
follow
scene
behind.
in that Obi-Wan show where it was just she's just in my trench coat, just walking. Just somehow nobody saw.
Yes,
Gotcha.
but it's working.
But it's working. Now, does it give you a bonus? Is it just like an automatic success on your stealth, or what is the?
It has no information.
What are you specifically using?
Sneak, so I can move because I
But
can't hide. I can't hide
the
and
spell?
move.
What's the spell?
It's called distracting shadows.
All right, I'll look at that and see just for a second. You can carry over your 24 if you wanted to move with them. Are you trying to move
Yeah.
along with them?
Yeah,
Okay.
ideally.
It's a halfling thingy.
Yeah. Ancestry.
Okay, so you still roll stealth,
Okay.
but you're using him as cover. It's literally exactly what he described it as, which is you basically are hiding behind him and somehow no one notices.
Okay. What was it? Stealth.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not great at stealth, but it's 16.
Okay. What were we gonna say? You get the sense that the girl like spots you, but she just assumes you're with them, and like nobody like stops you. Like
cool,
nobody's stopping them. Like they're just being let in.
I don't want to use it. I don't want to use that. I don't want to use it. I don't want to use it.
Not yet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are you attempting to remain hidden?
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's gonna have my speed.
Yeah, that's, I mean, but
But-
they're not outside of combat.
Yeah.
Like you can pretty much kind of keep up with
Yeah,
them.
and I was just gonna
You're
try
a
and
little bit behind
avoid
as you're keeping
notice.
it. Okay. So I mean, Hofkin leads you like right up. He's like, okay, well, I guess I'll take you in. Okay.
And will you be announcing us, or is there a different?
No, I mean, I'll go in. I'm gonna definitely go in and tell him that you're coming. You know, he likes to know, but yeah, I mean, it's what? He looks at his wrist, which is just bare. He's like, I don't know. It seems like visiting hours for the king, so it should be fine.
Absolutely.
He should be fine with it. I don't think there's anything. There's nothing big on the
Fantastic.
agenda for today.
So as when he moves away from us to go to go announce us, I'm gonna just kind of like whisper like, Greta, could I have one of those candles, please?
Yeah, and I'll like reach into my bag.
Okay. Make another stealth check if you're going to interact.
He's just holding his hand out like behind him though, because he knows he's trying to like be hidden.
Hero
Hero point.
Or you could just say no.
That's a 19.
A 19. You're 19 total?
Yeah, my second roll was an 8.
Yeah.
And my first roll was a 3.
Either they hear Bartimus talking to you, or they hear you, but it does appear that you've been noticed. You can metagame if you want.
Don't let them pressure you. You can do whatever you want.
Pressure you to do it.
Well, when they notice me,
metagaming right now,
is it-
too.
Oh God, we are metagaming. Greta hears these thoughts in her head going, metagame. Wait, but do they, when they notice me, am I part of the group? Do they think I'm part of the group? Wait, what group? Who am I talking to right now? And so she's metagaming.
Metagame's not. Yeah. So
Who's
you
what-
suddenly
what's
realize that you're just a fictional character in a fictional story.
Where did my accent go?
There is no Greta. There is no stealth. That's a completely made up thing. These people who would notice you aren't even real. Your whole life is a lie, and even that, it's not even a lie. It just doesn't exist at all. And after your existential crisis is over, you are standing outside this house, and everybody else has passed into the house. A little bit of time passes, while the rest of you are just sort of like led into the house. You're like asking for this candle, and you look around, you don't see Greta at all. And then Hopkins like, all right, come on in. The king's waiting.
All right, fantastic. Let's go.
Would I know any knowledge about the Coral King?
Sure, make a society check.
I was gonna ask that same thing, Jim.
Okay.
I was gonna ask that same thing.
You wanna make a
Society?
check? Yeah.
Yeah.
24.
24.
8.
8.
Thanks for helping me.
You know, I have society as well, and there's no reason.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Because what I'm going to tell you, Greta, or you, Ava, is that what you know enough to know that you have no idea what the Coral King is. What I mean by that is like you're pretty in tune with like what's like the different groups around the city. Like,
This is new.
This you've never like. This is like what is this? This is
Okay.
just like some made up nonsense. Like,
Okay.
It's not like you have no idea what any of this
Okay.
is. But you are led into a big foyer.
Are there books? Is there
There's-
anything
we're
in
not
the libraries
foyer.
in
There's
this?
not
Oh, okay.
It's not like they open the front door and immediately it's like, here, it says, Ava, look, the book you're looking for is directly inside. You grab it.
Metagame.
you-
There's books everywhere. There's a small.
The house is actually made of books.
There's a door.
The door is the book.
You are led into this foyer. There's a big grand staircase that goes up. There are a whole bunch of rooms that go off. And you can, now that you're inside, you can hear like the din of people talking, almost as if you were at like a really like chill house party. And you're looking around and you can see there are people here that are moving around, living around. Some people like give you odd looks, but not like, there's nothing hostile about any of them. They notice you are all here and it's like, oh, your new people are here. And then they just are kind of like, oh, okay. And then they leave you alone mostly. They see you're with Hofkin and they just kind of shrug it off. What you do notice is that everybody here bears one or more very obvious, very intense mutations. You see one person whose entire bottom half is like a spider body. You see somebody who who basically looks like a giant slug, and they have these eye stalks up on the top of their head, and they just like slime their way across the floor. You see somebody crawling across the ceiling, much like you would have wanted to do, just like walking across it. But actually, you know what? It's not even like that they're crawling across the ceiling. They're walking across the ceiling, but like upright. They're just completely upside down.
Right.
They're just walking across.
I whisper to Bartimus and say, I think these are the people that have been exiled from other parts of factions in town.
Oh, that's nice. Have you seen Greta?
And I peek. I assume there's like a coattail piece. I'm like probably like up against some weird contraptions underneath this coat. I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna see if I can look around and see if Greta's around.
I mean, yeah, you don't see Greta. I mean, you
No.
know that the door was shut behind you. You're not
Oh,
sure
that's
what happened.
unfortunate. If only you would have given me one of those candles.
They're just scented.
We both know you're lying.
Okay, well, I got your back.
But
Literally.
this boy and this girl escort you through the house, and eventually you come to what looks to like a large ballroom, but it's completely empty, except for in the middle of it, there is this big, like, coral formation.
Hi, people.
What's up? Thanks, everybody.
How's it going, friends?
It's getting real, guys.
And, sorry.
Ballroom, empty.
Yeah,
Ballroom Blitz.
big big mass of coral. There's pinks and purples and blues and greens, but from deep within it, like almost like recessed in these like little coral cave, you see two big pearly eyes looking out at you. And Hofkin like kneels on the floor and like looks over at the two of you and is like, "Get down."
Oh, I kneel down, bumping her with my rump as I kneel down.
And Dorm will kneel down as well.
Make another stealth check if you're attempting to stay hidden.
I mean, I feel like everyone knows.
Everybody,
I would know.
The jig's kind of up.
I kind of
You're
like
just,
slink
hiding
out
behind
from
this guy.
under this cloak and then I kneel.
We'll do that mutation.
Oh, just people just pop out of them. Looking, hello. I
I
kneel.
Stop what you're doing there as you all kneel before the Coral King. Outside, you come to, and you feel a little foggy, but you realize that I don't know, it's just like this weird momentary existential crisis, and then you realize that's silly. Of course you're real.
Yeah.
And you have an important job to do, but your friends are gone. You just like when you come to you just hear like the click of the door closing.
What level of stupefied am I?
Just one.
Oh, okay, good. Is the tentacle girl still outside?
No, they both went inside with, presumably, they're all gone. So
Yeah.
you don't see anybody.
I'll try the front door.
Okay. It does not appear to be locked. Like just testing it, it's not locked.
Yeah. I was just gonna open it and
Okay.
look.
Okay. Are you still trying to remain hidden?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Make a stealth check. Yeah.
25.
25.
Nice.
So yeah, you're looking in, and you can see that there's a lot of people in here. Getting inside and moving around inside with being completely unnoticed would be a really difficult task without some sort of magical aid, like invisibility or something like that.
Can I
Because
just,
there's just a lot of people.
Can I just slip into the crowd?
Yeah, you can definitely remain sort of just unnoticed. I would say at that point, you're probably looking at something like a deception rather than a stealth. Because people will see that you're there, but you're just trying to avoid notice. You're trying to.
But it's good that your hair doesn't change colors when you try to deceive people.
No. Also, when Greta was stupefied outside, her hair was just like a confused octopus, just trying to find solid ground. And it's great that I also don't have a -2 to my deception bonus, and whatever stupefied does to me, it's fine. I'm gonna try it.
Sure.
Got it.
You can always
Super
try.
awkward party goer. Just like,
Can I use?
Yeah.
A hero point, a group hero point.
I'm gonna use a bigger die for this.
hey,
I think that's fantastic.
I'm a normie.
Woo!
Okay, that will be a 24.
24. Okay. Yeah, you realizing that you're constantly shifting colors might give you away because you're feeling a little bit nervous. You pull up the hood on your cloak. You sort of create some deep shadows, and you just start making your way through the crowd. And you sort of just try to blend in and be real. You walk casually, and you avoid sort of making eye contact with anybody, and you are slipping amongst the crowd. And what I'm curious from you at this point is, what is your intention? Like, what do you want to accomplish here?
I want to find my friends.
You want to find your friends. Okay. What I'm going to have you do then is make a perception check.
All right. 22.
22. Okay. I would say that with the timing of all this, because you're only a few seconds behind them in the timeline, your split second realization wasn't that long. And you actually do see them like being led into some like this big double door room. You catch the tail end of Hava like going into this room, so you know where they've gone.
And the double doors seem to be the only way in.
That you can tell. I mean, you're basically just in this giant house. You can start exploring around a bit, but
Yeah.
And again, it's more just like, what do you know that basically every move you make here is a little risky.
Yeah.
You might draw attention to yourself. I'm just telling you, this is what you know now. If you want to try to find another route, you can make another perception check that'll have to be accompanied with another deception check.
You know what? I'm feeling sassy. Let's do those checks.
Okay, so you can
perception.
do them in any order you want.
Let's start with perception.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, she felt very sassy.
I was feeling very sassy, and I probably felt too sassy.
Okay.
There's another one.
You can also
Oh.
say no.
Oh,
There's
is
another
there?
group here. There's one more hero point in the pool.
How does everyone? Okay.
You've done it now.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a. What did I say I was doing first? Perception.
Perception.
Yeah.
That's a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Okay. Okay. So you are looking around and you're making your way through these crowds. And you're just trying to avoid anybody, and you get up to it's up on the second floor, and you see there's the double doors, and you start following this hallway around, and you see that there is another entrance. There's a single door on the other side, and you think it's how much would you really know? It's possible, based on the space, that the door could go into the same room.
Does it have a keyhole?
You know what? Yes.
I
it
wanna
does.
look through
You
that
look through the
keyhole.
keyhole. Okay. But now I need you to roll that deception check. This is the one that
Trying my
could
tiny
have.
die again. It was doing well. Oh, that's a nat 20.
Hey!
So with my negative
You
2
remain
penalty.
Oh, what?
completely unnoticed. As you accomplish all this, you look through the door and you can see most of what you see is this big, slow, sometimes shifty, weird, like mound of purple, green, and blue coral. And when you listen at the door, you can hear some muffled voices beyond, and you hear your friends. You hear Bartimus's voice. It's very loud. It's very unmistakable. And now we'll come back to inside the room. And
Oh, great Coral King, we have come to bargain. Thorn, myself, Haver, and of course, Greta. Our dear friend Greta. And he looks around.
I'll open the door.
you open the door. Okay, I mean, if you're trying to remain unnoticed, roll a stealth check. If you don't care about
just-
being noticed, then just open it.
I'll open it and I'll be like, I'm so sorry. I went to the restroom and I got left behind.
Oh, an understandable mistake, I'm sure. Our friend Greta, everyone.
Wonderful, yes. Visitors to the Coral Palace. This is wonderful. To what do I owe this pleasure?
Great Lord. We.
Your Majesty, please.
Oh, Your Majesty. We've come searching for answers, knowledge.
I am very wise. So you have come to the right place. Surely, the ignorant have cast you aside for your gifts. And you wonder, is there a place for me in this world any longer? And I tell you truly, yes. Yes, there is here in my kingdom.
Thank you. That's a new knowledge that, in addition to the knowledge that we're looking for, actually, we were looking for possibly a book on details of anti-magic repellent devices of some sort.
Just coming right up with it, huh?
Anything of that sort that you may have in this lovely space of yours.
Ah, so you have come seeking favors. from
Well,
the
we
Coral
didn't know you
Coast.
were here.
Bargain. We have, of course, brought bargaining chips.
Ah, yes. And what are your chips?
I'll dig out one of the candles.
You see here, Your Majesty, what looks to be a mere candle. But no, it's much more, I tell you. Greta, tell the king of the power of this candle.
Yes, Your Majesty. It has a lot of healing abilities. So you light it, and it heals you.
Simply
Like a-
breathe in the fumes and magical healing will take part, imbuing you with health and fortitude, strength and vigor, all in the mere span of 10 minutes or less.
Wonderful. Yes. Yes, these will do nicely. And you can see now that like Hofkin, who's been sort of standing up to the side, like reaches out his hands to accept the gifts for the king.
I'll walk over.
Just the one?
Yeah, just the one.
It's important you give him all of them,
All 4.
all 4 of them, one for each of us.
Give him 4.
Okay. Give him the 4. He seems like, okay. He takes over and he lays them before the Coral King. Each of you make a perception check.
Ooh.
28.
28.
Wow.
28.
There it is.
20.
20.
25.
I didn't even have to use my third eye.
Oh, 24. 'Cause I'm stupid.
Me neither.
Greta, Thorn, and Hava, as you're watching the Coral King, you can't help but notice that some of the formations in the coral almost appear like they're hands, like reaching out from inside this big, solid, rocky mass. And occasionally, like, he shifts a little bit. You can see that even though it looks like at first glance like solid, like this would be a big like a big rock formation almost, it occasionally shifts, and there are like individual like pieces of him that can move, and sometimes he almost seems to take in like a big deep breath, and the whole of him just sort of expands and then contracts a little bit.
Hands, as in the coral is making like the form of a hand, or a body part within the coral.
Like the
that is
coral
a-
itself, like
Okay.
formed from the coral, as
Okay.
if it were like, you know, reaching out
Okay.
from the central mass. He says, "So you have brought bargaining chips, but I must ask, why do you seek these answers?"
Well, we feel like
Want to take away the gifts that those fools in resolve believe they deserve. If we simply remove the magic that they're having, then they will never get the gifts that we have, and we will show those fools how wrong they were for casting us out.
But the gifts cannot be stopped. Only the ignorant would wish to take it from anyone. Those who have not yet been touched as we have, they are wrong in many of their assumptions of what has happened to us. But it is only because they have not seen what we have seen. I do not wish anyone to be denied the touch.
I remembered that there's this weird voice in my head. What is that? What? This is just a costume? I'm at a table? No! No! Not a table! A game for what are those, cameras? An entertainment my whole life? It's just a lie? A teddy bear? I have an existential
You have an
crisis.
existential crisis. Barnabas like
metagame-
shuts down. You can't remember anything that he said for the last 30 or so seconds. He just seems to like shut down, leaving you all free to step in.
Wait, so how does this work? Did he say what?
No.
Okay. So where does this take us back
Here's
to?
the thing. Here's what this
This is
does.
Back to the
It doesn't
Future.
really rewind anything, but what it does is it erases the any potential negative consequences for
Okay.
what Barnabas did simply don't occur.
Okay.
So simply converse as you will.
What was the last thing that the Coral King
The
said?
Coral King said, why would you deny these gifts to anyone? They simply haven't seen the enlightenment yet, but eventually they will, as all will.
We don't. We believe what we're trying to do is give a space for those who don't have the gifts to not fear us, and inflicting the gift onto someone who may be fearful could be more dangerous to everyone, right? Than if we're given a chance for diplomacy and understanding and maybe slowing down how the gift is spreading, for a chance for those who aren't gifted to see what's possible. Understanding, just like you said.
Make a diplomacy check.
Check it. Okay, diplomacy check. Just checking if I have anything here to assist with that. Fortitude. Okay, I don't think so. Oh, so 24.
I am afraid I do not see your point. But as I am not the arbiter of the gifts and who has been touched and who has yet to be, I am also not the arbiter of knowledge. There is a great library here, and if you wish to see the librarian, perhaps they can help you discover what you have lost. Do not be fooled by my title. Though I am the Coral King, I am not a tyrant. I am not the ruler of this house or the people in it. So if it is knowledge you seek, who am I to say yes or no?
Thank you so much. And just as simple commoner to Majesty like yourself, I would like to say thank you for opening up your doors for those who have been cast away. It's very generous of you.
This is simply a place where people can come to be safe, where it has been denied by those who do not understand what has happened to us and the gifts we have all been given.
I start bowing.
Hofkin, take them to the library and let them meet the librarian.
Backing up, bowing.
Your grace.
I bow my big floppy face. Back and forth.
And Hofkin bows again and says, okay, well, I guess come with me. And he leads you out of the great big ballroom, and he takes you up another floor. There's a third floor to this place. And just over where the big ballroom is, there's another set of double doors. He says, this is the library, and inside is the librarian. And I guess you're free to check all that out. I'm going to go back out and stand at the front door, because that's my job.
All right. Goodbye.
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 Great job you were doing.
Good job. I opened the door.
You open the door, and inside there are shelves and stacks and books and scrolls and documents, and it is a very large, very magnificent library. Mostly intact. And it seems like shockingly organized in a lot of ways. There are certainly some piles on tables and things that are out of place and dusty, but it looks like what it looks like to you is like if you were going to do a deep clean of your closet. So there's definitely some piles of stuff, but like all in the service of it becoming organized very soon, kind of deal.
It's Rupert Giles' study.
Yeah.
I use the Quigley decimal system to go find.
I'll go to find the librarian.
Sure.
Is there one of those little bells somewhere?
A little bell.
Well, you can't. You have to hit it with your claw.
Well, that's the top of it.
Okay.
There's no little bell, unfortunately.
He's just banging his head on the table.
In fact, you don't see anybody really at first. You keep being told about the librarian, but the room looks mostly empty. Although it is a very large room, there are a lot of shelves. Most of them are like, there's the wall shelves, very tall. And it looks like there's like a two-tiered system. There's like a little ladder that goes up to a second tier. There's like a catwalk that goes around the center of the room. There are a lot of shelves like in the middle of the room too, so there's a lot of spaces. There's a lot of space to explore in here.
Thorn steps forward and he's just like, hello. We're in a library. Hello.
So you're on the lookout for library. You're on the lookout for librarian. You're just starting to look through books and see what you can find. Greta, what are you doing at this point?
Excellent question. Books aren't really Greta's like thing, so I think she's just perusing. She's just looking around. Maybe.
Look for the restricted section.
Ooh, maybe there's like a.
If you want to look for like a restricted area or something that's sort of hidden away, something special.
Yeah.
So I'll have everybody make a perception check, really, when you're all doing pretty much the same thing.
There's no books here. Guys, what are we looking for? Why are you guys looking at me like that? I'm like serious. Like there are no books anywhere that we have talked about. You know, somebody mentioned earlier that there were. What is that? What are you doing? Stop it! Stop looking at me! Nobody quit! Nothing! I don't know what's happening, guys. There's so much going on right now, Jim. I'm very confused. I don't even like going to the library anymore. Somebody stole my card.
So Thorn has an existential crisis. Because apparently he rolled a very poor perception check.
I might have rolled like a 1.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Really art.
What has everybody else got?
I rolled an 18.
18?
15.
15?
22.
22. You're all looking around in this old, dusty library. And Thorn, you don't even really make it very far into the room when you hear this. It sounds like a very sharp, sort of skittery type of sound. And you look towards the sound and you see that on the underside of the catwalk, that is maybe 10 feet behind you and up, you see this small humanoid figure that almost sort of reminds you a little bit of like a goblin, but it's very pale, it's very thin, and its face is like it's definitely not a goblin, 100% not a goblin. And it has these spidery legs that are sprouted or maybe built into its back, because the more you look at it, the more you realize that they are metal, articulated. Think like there's 6 of them. It's a little Doc Ocky, but there's 6 of these things, and they're legs, and they're like stabbed into the underside of this catwalk, and he skitters across and drops down between you and the door, and he turns very quickly and he closes the door and locks it, and he turns back towards you, and he says, "What are you doing in my library? No one is supposed to be in here while I am organizing my things."
My apologies, actually. Myself and our companions, we came searching for materials to read, not knowledge to gain.
Do I see this?
No. You're off in another part of the library.
Oh God, we're all split up.
As you're looking, you can see tiny sparks of electricity are like running down this little creature's spine. And you can see that not only are these legs sort of sprouted from his back, but there are these other metal shards that are protruding from his flesh in different places. Who sent you here?
Your king, the Coral King.
The king sent you to me, did he?
Yes.
That is very good. I must be sure to thank him, because I was getting very, very hungry.
Oh, we could have.
And he leaps at you to attack, and that is where our story ends. I'm being attacked again at the end! Never win! Yes, we have come to the end of Red.
Wait.
Meta, wait. Wow, there's
a fake hand on the table.
there's a
There's
camera.
like legit nothing.
You already had a breakdown.
Wait, I didn't have.
Oh, that's right. Every hour.
Whoa! None of this happened. Ah! Right?
You can't stop the end of the series. I don't know what to tell you.
I use my. I want to switch spots with you.
That was last. You're getting wild magics all mixed up. That is the end of our adventure for this evening. I want to thank all of you for joining us. Stick with us if you like what we're doing, and there will be more in the future. We can promise you that.
Spread the good word.
Spread the good word, and it will come
Or
back.
the bad word. Just spread words about us.
Just
take
words,
any at this point.
Just any words. Just choose random words. Banana.
That's all I ever do.
Albuquerque. See, I can do too.
I hope none of you have existential crises like these people had to so many times to avoid the horrible fates that awaited them. We will see you next time, the next time we have more content coming out. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Majesty!